You ever been using something, really familiar, like a Google app, maybe search, and you just get this weird feeling like, hang on, is this smarter or faster somehow? Just a subtle sense that it understood you a bit better, maybe, without any big announcement. Well, if that sounds familiar, especially with Google's AI, Gemini, you're in exactly the right place today. We are doing a deep dive based on insights from an article, Gemini's Silent AI Evolution, the Secret 1.5 Pro Upgrade. Our goal here is to really peel back the layers on this pretty massive change that happened apparently very quietly. So quiet, most of us didn't even notice. We want to unpack what it means, the implications, and yeah, maybe figure out why something so big was rolled out with such little, fanfare. This isn't just tech talk, right? It feels like a bigger strategic shift in how AI is just becoming, well, part of everything we do online, almost invisibly. Okay, so let's unpack this. Quick refresher for everyone. Gemini, that's Google's big family of large language models. They launched it pretty squarely into that whole competitive AI space, aiming at ChatGPT, Anthropic's Claude, building on what they had with Bard.
Yeah, and what's really interesting, I think, is that Gemini wasn't ever just meant to be another chatbot off in a corner. From day one, the plan was always deep integration, weaving it right into the fabric of Google's whole ecosystem. I mean, think about it. It's already spread across Google Workspace, Android, Search. It's acting as this sort of intelligent assistant layer. It's doing things like summarizing your emails in Gmail, helping transcribe meetings, offering code completion for developers, even understanding YouTube videos. It's kind of everywhere already.
Right, which leads us straight into this central mystery, the silent switch. So, sometime in early 2024, Google seems to have quietly upgraded the engine behind its main Gemini services to this new version, Gemini 1.5 Pro. It replaced the older 1.0 series. And the key thing is, this 1.5 Pro is apparently significantly more powerful, but the rollout, minimal noise, barely a whisper.
Which just begs the question, why so quiet? Well, from a strategic perspective, it actually makes a lot of sense. There are probably a couple of big reasons. First, performance parity, you could call it.
Okay.
They likely wanted the user experience to feel smooth, familiar, not jarring. So you feel like it's getting better, but it's not suddenly a totally different thing you have to relearn. That builds trust, consistency.
Okay, so keep it feeling like the Gemini people already know.
Exactly. And second, and this is probably crucial in the AI race right now, strategic secrecy.
Mm.
Google maybe wasn't ready to tip its hand, show all its cards about just how capable this new model was, keep competitors guessing a bit. But we should be clear, even though it was quiet, this switch to 1.5 Pro, it was, technologically speaking, pretty seismic. A really big deal under the hood.
Okay, seismic. Let's get into why. Because this is where it gets really interesting, right? The secret weapon seems to be this thing called a long context window. We're talking apparently up to 1 million tokens. Which, okay, putting that in plain English for you listening, it means Gemini 1.5 Pro can essentially remember and process a staggering amount of information all at once. Like, think multiple long books or a huge technical manual library, all held in its working memory simultaneously.
Yeah, it's genuinely revolutionary.
Yeah.
That 1 million token figure, even if it's mainly in experimental settings for now, is just way beyond most others.
Yeah.
You compare that to something like, say, GPT-4 Turbo, which is very capable, but its context window is more like 128,000 tokens. 1 million is a massive leap.
Wow. Okay.
And what that means for you, the user, whether you're a researcher digging through papers, a coder working on a complex project, or just trying to make sense of a long report, it's huge. You can feed it these incredibly long documents, whole books, massive code bases, even hours of audio or video, and it gets the whole picture. It understands the full context.
So it doesn't lose track halfway through a long conversation or document.
Much less often, yeah. It can answer questions that require connecting ideas from page 1 to page 500. It can track nuances across a huge amount of text. For professionals, imagine an AI that actually understands the entire project you're working on, not just the last few messages. It's a game changer.
All right, that context window sounds like the headline feature, but there's another piece, right? Something working behind the scenes. This mixture of experts thing, MOE.
That's right. It's maybe less flashy, but it's incredibly important for making that giant context window practical.
Okay, so MOE, analogy time. Is it like instead of having the entire company work on every single small task, you just bring in the specific experts needed for that one job?
That's a great way to put it, actually. Instead of lighting up the entire enormous neural network for every single query, no matter how simple, MOE is smarter. It intelligently routes your request to only the most relevant, specialized mini-models or experts within the larger system.
Okay, and the benefit of that is?
Efficiency. Massive efficiency gains. It means Gemini 1.5 Pro can be faster because it's only using the necessary parts. It's also significantly cheaper for Google to run because it uses way fewer computing resources for each task.
Uh-huh. And that connects back to the huge context window.
Exactly. That efficiency is how they can realistically offer something like a million token context window without the whole system just grinding to a halt or costing an absolute fortune to operate. It's the efficient engine making the supersized memory possible. It allows them to scale these powerful capabilities.
So all this clever tech, the huge context, the efficient architecture, it's been deployed quietly. And now Gemini is just sort of the default AI in loads of Google stuff, often without us even realizing.
That's pretty much the situation, yeah. If you're a regular Google user, Gemini's influence is likely deeper than you think. Take Android, for instance. Gemini, often in this smaller, super efficient form called Gemini Nano, is powering on-device features. Things like summarizing notifications, helping draft replies, understanding stuff in screenshots.
Right.
And in workspace, so Google Docs, Gmail,
Hmm?
it's there, helping with writing, editing, summarizing emails. It's becoming embedded. Even Google search itself is being fundamentally changed by Gemini through things like the AI overview feature, where it tries to answer your question directly at the top.
Yeah, I've seen those.
That's Gemini at work. So yeah, these upgrades have effectively turned Gemini into something like, well, like an operating system for Google's whole AI future, quietly shaping how you interact with their services.
I'm building on that. You mentioned Gemini Nano, the on-device part. That feels like a really significant aspect of this quiet rollout, too. It's not just about the cloud anymore.
Absolutely. This whole push towards on-device AI is critical, and Gemini Nano is a key piece. So why should you care about on-device AI? Well, when the AI, like Nano, runs directly on your phone, currently on newer Pixel phones and devices getting Android 15, a lot of tasks don't need to constantly talk to the internet, to Google servers.
Okay, and the benefits are?
Speed, for one. Results can be much faster. Less data usage, obviously. But the big one is privacy. If the processing happens on your device, less of your personal data needs to be sent to the cloud.
Right. That makes sense. People care about that.
They do. So this edge AI approach, it lets Google integrate really powerful AI features while also positioning themselves as being more privacy conscious. It's a smart, strategic angle in today's world. Faster, private AI assistance right in your pocket.
Okay, so we've got the massive context, the efficiency, the quiet integration, the on-device push. Let's shift gears slightly. What about some of the really advanced stuff, the kind of specialized superpowers that Gemini 1.5 Pro might enable that maybe really surprise people? Things like code, memory, handling different types of media?
Yeah, this is where that huge context window really starts to unlock some amazing capabilities. Let's take coding. For developers, this upgrade means Gemini isn't just spitting out simple code snippets anymore, because it can see the whole code base, potentially.
That million tokens again.
Right. It can analyze entire repositories, help track down tricky bugs that span multiple files, even suggest improvements to the overall software architecture, all within tools like Android Studio or Google Colab. It's moving towards being a true context-aware coding partner, understanding the structure, not just the syntax.
Okay, that's pretty cool for coders. What about memory? You hear that term thrown around with AI assistants.
Yeah, memory is a big one, though it seems to be in earlier stages, maybe testing with some users. The idea is that Gemini starts to actually remember things about you, your preferences, past projects you've worked on, details from earlier conversations, maybe across different Google apps.
It becomes more personal, less like starting from scratch every time.
Exactly. It can understand your workflow better, anticipate what you need next, make suggestions based on your habits. It moves it closer to being a genuinely helpful, persistent digital companion.
Interesting. And the last one you mentioned, multimodality, handling different types of information.
Right. Multimodality. This is huge. It's Gemini's ability to understand and work with not just text, but also images, audio, and even video, often all within the same conversation, seamlessly.
Like how humans process the world using multiple senses.
Kind of, yeah. And this isn't just a neat trick. It fundamentally changes how you can interact with AI.
Yeah.
Forget just typing prompts. Imagine uploading a photo of a complex physics problem from a textbook and asking Gemini to help you solve it. Or sharing a medical x-rays, not for a diagnosis, of course, but maybe for a first-level description of what's visible.
Okay.
Or feeding it a long YouTube video and asking, pinpoint the exact moment they start discussing quantum computing, or summarize the key arguments made in the last 10 minutes. You can see the image, hear the audio, watch the video, and connect it all with the text.
Yeah.
This multimodal magic. It's directly powered by these underlying upgrades, like the long context window in 1.5 Pro And again, it arrived pretty quietly.
Wow. Okay, so putting all this together, the silent 1.5 Pro upgrade, the massive context, the efficiency, the deeper integration, these emerging superpowers, does it all point to? What's next for Gemini? Where is this quiet evolution heading?
Well, Google certainly dropped hints about more ambitious plans. There are already whispers about, potential Gemini 2.0 down the line,
Yeah.
something that might push even beyond that incredible 1 million token context threshold,
Yeah.
offering even deeper understanding.
Adding more context. Okay.
Yeah, and we're likely to see even tighter integration across the board. Think Gemini connecting fully with your Google Calendar, your tasks, your Drive files, potentially becoming this sort of proactive life manager.
Organizing your digital life.
Pretty much,
Yeah.
helping you manage schedules, projects, information all more seamlessly. And then there's voice, deeper, more natural voice integration. You could imagine real-time AI companions, perhaps, for, say, augmented reality glasses or VR or other wearable tech, always on assistance.
So the AI becomes even more present?
More present, more integrated, and ideally more helpful. But maybe the biggest shift isn't purely technological. It's about trust. Think about it. The more subtly and effectively Gemini weaves itself into our workflows, the more useful it becomes without us even thinking about it. The more we'll naturally, perhaps almost subconsciously, start to rely on it. Let it take the wheel in more situations at work, on our phones, even shaping the information we find via search.
So this quiet rollout wasn't just about the tech.
It was arguably also about stealthily, gradually winning your trust, building reliance through seamless, quiet utility.
Right. So the key takeaway seems to be this. The next time you use a Google service that feels a bit smarter, faster, or more helpful, whether it's Gmail drafting a reply, search giving you an AI overview, or your phone understanding a screenshot, just remember this conversation. You're likely interacting with a version of Google's AI that is significantly more powerful, more capable, and more deeply integrated than it was just a short while ago. The big upgrade. It's already here. You probably just didn't notice it happen.
And maybe the final thought to leave you with is this. How does this ongoing silent evolution of AI, specifically designed to integrate seamlessly, almost invisibly, and maybe even win our trust without us actively realizing it, how does that reshape our fundamental relationship with technology? And perhaps, what does it even mean to be truly aware or in control in a world becoming so deeply interwoven with these quiet, powerful digital minds?